to another edition of the Eternal Journey, and that resolves, and this is Shimmerpack. So this was the Shimmerpack card was requested to be played by Cube TV in one of the YouTube comments, and I couldn't quite get the Elysian version to work out, so I thought, maybe I'll try this out in like a free faction type of tokens deck. So we've got mostly a Praxis deck here that's just going to be splashing for the scouting party and the namesake of the deck, the Shimmerpack. I think it's pretty easy to splash it because we do have the Acolyte to find our one of Primal Sigil, as well as just having the Trailmakers and just a bunch of dual influence powers here. One of the main things that pulled me was just that we get to play Scouting Party, and this is pretty great, especially when you're playing any sort of anthems, and it's also really nice to just be able to refill the board straight after a harsh rule or a devastating setback, something like that. And this is just one of the many ways that you'll be able to grind out your opponents, as well as it just giving you a bunch of bodies that you're then able to Shimmerpack after this has hopefully found you perhaps a Shimmerpack, and if not, just the power to be able to cast it. Shimmerpack is often going to be your finisher, and what this is going to do is going to transform any number of units in play into copies of Shimmerpack. So hopefully your copies are going to be bigger because you do have anthems in play like the Arcanum Monitor and the Xenan Obelisk, and anything that you transform from your opponents, or anything that was just a little bit tricky to deal with or had something like Lifesteal when you were trying to crunch in there for lethal, just gets transformed into a 4/4 Shimmerpack instead. Because we are playing Shimmerpack, I didn't want to get too heavy on expensive draws, so I've elected not to play Taser in this version. As in the Praxis video I was playing, she did seem to just be a brick in our hand quite a lot of the time. Okay, so let's see how this works out onto the games. Okay, so this is a pretty basic hand. We've got the power and the option to find another piece if we need it, as well as just having the Xenan Obelisk into the Humbug Swarm, which I'm pretty interested in, so I think we'll keep this. I think I'm just going to Crest here. This is either mid-range Decklist against or the Mirror, in which case the Torch isn't excellent, so we'll just bottom that. But mostly we're just looking for more power, just so we are able to fully power up this Xenan Obelisk. And the Echo spell there is telling me that perhaps this is a... Okay, maybe it's not. I was thinking with the Echo there, that's going to be Find the Way. I've got a lot of power here, so next time we get to Crest, I'll play Grenadin, and then the turn after we're just going to play the Obelisk. So as they play the power first, that's telling me that this isn't the new Heart Vault pile that's been running around. Some of the line will be nice there. But I just really want to get this Xenan Obelisk down on time. And the Humbug Swarm's probably fine to keep on top because we will have time to play. We've got plenty of things to be playing here. Play the drones out and just bite them for one. So sort of hoping this is like perhaps some sort of mirror or just a earlier version, because I'm not sure how we'll face off against the Sandstorm Titan into a World Bearer Behemoth here. And perhaps it's better just to... We do play this, we do get in for 6, and then everything we play after it is miles better. But we can also just play the Disciple. I think that's good as well. And then next turn we'll get in for even more damage, because it'll just be affecting more bodies. And I think right now I was going to go for the Sandcrawler, because this will be a 4/4 next turn. Okay, well, it's getting torched. That's sort of fine. I'm pretty happy if we're in a position where our opponent's just trading one card for a half value card. This is the deck that I thought it was. So to play the Obelisk here just to crunch in for a bunch of damage. So we're heading for 9 here, but opponent could have a Desert Marshal. Yep. I'll pull on a Silence over here and then block something else. Okay. So as long as we're able to find power here, then we should be able to overwhelm our opponent, because I don't believe this list actually plays Harsh Rule, and it's just trying to get you with 1/1 removal. So Temple Scribe sort of the just try and hit power. And if this sets into play, we'll get to play the assembly line. Okay, that's we're in great shape here. So just play that out and then pass the turn. Don't really want to just chuck a unit away just to get in for 2, where next turn we'll be able to sort of send with the team. And we'll lose 2 and just get in for 8 here. Okay, everyone's doing sort of a good job of keeping up against us here, but I think all we'll do is just play the Humbug Swarm, and then next turn we'll just make another Obelisk, and then we'll be able to get him for 9 in the air and just kill him in 2 turns, which is, yep, I thought I was giving up. It's going to be pretty rough for him to be able to fight back from there anyway. Okay, and this hand's a little bit ropey because we have a bunch of 5-drops there, though we do have a nice accelerant, so as long as we draw an undepleted power at some point, we'll be able to make a Xenan Obelisk on turn 3, but we're on the draw, so maybe that's fine. But we can probably, that should just be better, so I think we'll redraw. This hand's not excellent. It's got the 2 double influence cards. And as our opponents just make an on your own here, we'll just chuck out this Grenadin draw and save the torch for a more interesting target. This is Skycrag, and we get rock slided here, then that's a bit rough. Our opponents fought better for the attack there. Let's get the Elysian banner down and got a pretty nice influence here. I'll see if there's actually a better target here for this torch, but I might just, if they don't attack, okay, we'll attack, so we'll trade off here. Nope, they're thinking about it. Okay, well, we'll see if we've got a fast effect here. We'll torch off this Champion of Fury, which is definitely a better target, and then just block there. I'm just going to set this back for now. Didn't really want to get, didn't know if we were playing Sincero Bookend, didn't want to just take a billion. So just the 4 is fine. Alright, now play the Disciple first, just so we've got something on the board. So make a Sandcrawler. Sort of, I want to make fewer low toughness units, just because our opponent could do a rock slide just to blow us out if we made their deadly. And this, if we'd have blocked with this, would have saved us more life. And Paul's got 5-3 here. So I think we'll just Obelisk. So we've got easy blocks, and then next turn we'll reload with an assembly line. But we don't need to be aggressive here, just want to sort of get our opponent out of cards here. Sulfite Trick Rats. So we're in trouble here. And we'll need to be a little bit more aggressive. And ideally next turn we'll just want to find a time source so we can get the Arcane Monitor down, because we're on a short clock to this Sulfide Drake and we don't really have many ways of answering it. And okay, so that'll do it. So we're at 4 with no answer and no way of dealing with this. So we'll give them the old GGs and move on to the next game. Okay, well, this one's got all the things that I like in it, but it's probably actually just a redraw. This is probably quite nice. We should be able to easily get the Xenan Obelisk here, because we do have the Talir's Favour to find us a time source. So just chuck the banner down first. We really want to find an undepleted power here just because it'll smooth out a draw real nicely, and we found it. So let's chuck out the Seat of Impulse and play the Favoured. Then hopefully find something like perhaps a little bit of interaction or one of our free cost spells. the free cost Acolyte would actually be quite nice here as well, because then all of our influence will be fixed with the second Primal. Yeah, so unfortunately, we don't get to attack here with this. It's not quite as good as Trailmaker. But it still makes a reasonable body against a lot of beatdown decks. It sort of nullifies at least one Grenadin a turn, and once you get the Obelisk out, it does a reasonable job. Though it's probably not going to do much work in this matchup, but as a 1-3, it does get to Blackstone for Powder Alchemist. And opponent looks like they want to kill this, but we'll just make some slightly better targets instead. Then next turn we'll just chunk in for some damage with the Xenan Obelisk. But if we find a power, then I'll perhaps make the Arcanum Monitor or even the Humbug Swarm to follow that up with the Obelisk instead. I can only imagine how absurd this deck would be if the Obelisk still cost free. Well, that's a pretty reasonable nerf to the card. And, yep, just Obelisk it up. I probably search for something that's... Perhaps they've just gone straight for Macto. And we'll just want to just keep putting on pressure here. Pretty sure this will just be, from the cards we've seen, just be an actual removal pile deck. And it won't be like an older armory list that will play Harsh Will. But that one poster sort of pushed our opponent to remove one of our lesser threats, which is fine by me. Looks like they were doing it because they were digging for power. And as you can see, the Vanquish is still sort of fine against our deck some number of the time, which is why Jack was sort of good in the last build. But right here, I can think about doing the Assembly Line and the Temple Scribe, or just going straight to Humbug Swarm. I think I'm just going to play these two out. What this is, just an extra body, and if our opponent makes a Macto, then whatever, it's going to be able to block one of our Humbug Swarms anyway. I think if our opponent makes something with the intention of blocking, then we'll just attack plus torch just to get through it. And this is the Macto. Shimmerpack does also turn Macto off, which is pretty interesting though. Usually the turn you are playing the Shimmerpack is going to be the last turn of the game. This is actually quite nice here because we get to get in with everything, play a Disciple and torch the Macto. So we just get to push in for a bunch of damage here. And now we've got the Obelisk in play. We're not very vulnerable to the Highwayman anymore. And I've got 6 here, so we could even just ignore the Macto actually. But I think we'll just get rid of it. And then just get the Sandcrawler here. If our opponent does have a Harsh Will, okay, well they don't. So if they did have a Harsh Will, we'd be able to refill the Humbug Swarm, and that'd have been lethal on its own. Okay, so we've got double Arcanum Monitor, and we can actually cast them, and probably on turn 4 here. But I'm not sure how excited I actually am by the hand, because if our Initiate of the Sands gets dealt with, then we don't actually have much to go on with in terms of gas. But Initiate of the Sands on the play is pretty great. But this is actually probably just a redraw, so we'll ship it and see if we can do any better. This is definitely not better. Sort of relying on finding a time source. As the time source will really help us out here from the Trailmaker, as well as just letting us make a turn-free Obelisk. And we didn't get there. So it looks like the old classic turn 4, but we do really need to find a time source here. And well, this we can deal with this, because the Awakened Steward can really get out of hand. And Crest of Fury is not exactly what we're looking for, and neither is though the Ember Acolyte does find us the second time source, so does the Trailmaker. So we'll just bottom this and try and find an actual source. Though it's relatively minor, but just puts us on straight Skycrack here. So perhaps this is the first sort of issue with the power base, that perhaps I've not crafted it very well. We do have a little bit of time, but we can't just sit around forever because our opponent does have a lot more powerful spells in their deck than we do, as they get to play Heart of the Vault and Icaria. And we're sort of sat here with Marisen's Disciple, which is not really even in the top, not really even in the top 3 best time cards, but it's just, it works here, and that's what I sort of like about. Okay, so just getting our thing torched, that's fine. This is what I sort of like about being able to play things other than Sandstorm Titan, because Sandstorm Titan is probably a little bit too good, as there's no reason you'd play this unless you really wanted like it to complement your strategy. I'll pause just we'll just make the Trailmaker to get the time source. Try and convert to make a Temple Scribe, just hopefully find a nice 6 power. Not quite the power we're looking for, but Initiator Stands is still reasonable, as we'll be able to get these Obelisk down next turn. Now we're a little bit out of luck regarding, so we could push for 6 quite easily. But I think we'll probably just sit back here, because also I don't want to sacrifice the Trailmaker here. Well, if everyone wants to trade, that's also fine. I'm just a little bit concerned about Desert Marshal to sort of ruin our day here. Just a torch, that's fine. Well, our opponent doesn't have infinite life, and they don't really have much life gain in this deck, so if we can just keep pressuring them, we should be in good shape. We'll crest it, see if we can find something exciting on top. And Monitor into Monitor is probably fine here. But opponent can't really attack, and they've got 5/5 and we've got some 2/2s, so sort of first one of us to blink. Don't really want to trade both my units to get in here. Would be super happy to. Oh, well, our opponent's got a carry, so we're in trouble here. We don't have much time. And the power would boost everyone up, but it's not actually super exciting here. I'd much rather find an undepleted, just play out the Shimmerpack and then just try and push for lethal. So just get an attack for 5, so it's not infinite. I think we could trade off this unit here, but attacking might be right there, just because it pushes 4 damage and it sort of prompts a trade here. And the Vanquish is a bit of a disaster here. We do have a Humbug Swarm, so we've got something pretty good at blocking a carrier here. We do get to try and get in for 7 here. Now we get to sort of ignore this, perhaps double block this and keep 1, and then 1 with what's left. Okay, a 2021 Sandstorm Titan, so we're in trouble here. So we've got lethal anyway. Okay, so I think we did, because Paul's got 3. We've got them covered. Just didn't count how many units we actually had here. So Humbug Swan was the perfect draw, really. So it helped us close out the game. Okay, we're on the play. We got to make a turn 1 initiate the Sands and turn 2 assembly line. So I think this is probably a fine hand. sort of nightmare matchup here would just be a turn 2 Lightning Storm just to ruin all our good work. But we could also just play the Temple Scribe here as well and get to scout as well. Could even scout before we draw, which would be pretty nice. So I'll just chunk in for one while I have a little think about this. And play a Praxis deck. So maybe we do actually. Yeah, I like this. I like the scout and then draw. Trailmaker, not quite what we're looking for, but infinite power here. I just found a little bit more of it. I'd like to just try and dig and find a Obelisk here, or just some sort of payoff. The start of season is always quite interesting. And we'll give up the jig, we'll play the Primal Crest and just get in there with the assembly line. There's no there's no fire sweepers yet, so nothing to worry about here. And do we trade our card for theirs? What else going on? So I think we could try it next turn, but then if they have a torch as well, then we get absolutely blown out. But I think I'm happy just to take 3 here. Just because if we do find, well, we didn't, and we can play the Humbug Swarm for playing undepleted power, but now we also need to be concerned about perhaps harsh rule. I'm pretty sure this is Shine's deck over here, and that shouldn't have any of that in it. So no, just play the Swarm. Just attack for 1 with the intention of blocking with these 4, just to play around 1 torch. And then perhaps next turn we'll be able to try and do something with this Crest of Impulse. Bottom this Primal Sigil, as we're able to find the Primal Source anyway. And if we do top deck a Shimmerpack next turn, we'll be in pretty great shape. Just getting for, okay, well, getting Desert Marshaled and perhaps blocked by the 3/3, so our opponent gets to negate this attack, which is pretty rough for us. If we do find a Shimmerpack top of our deck, then we'll be in great shape here. If our opponent attacks here, then I'm happy just to take it. So Scouting Party, not quite what we're looking for here. Try and attack in, hopefully trade something with a... Okay, but it's going to be the Trailmaker, which is fine. Sort of an interesting torch there. And then just make the Scouting Party. Now, with us having the Scouting Party out itself, disincentivizes our opponent from actually attacking here. We do get to attack with the 4 here, and that'll draw us a card. I think we might actually even let these get through, just because our opponent won't be able to block them anyway. Sort of more incentivized to block 3 of the Yeti Spies, let us draw a card. I've got a torch, so we can either deal with the Whirling Jaw just to stop our opponent from keep gaining millions of lives, or we can just get rid of the Seraph now, because that's potentially going to be a bigger problem in a couple of turns. But if they want to keep spending 8 power, then that's more than fine as far as I'm concerned. But I think we'll Humbug Swarm and we'll just keep the torch up, as I'll probably just use it if our opponent actually tries to attack with this Whirling Jaw. And oh, well, we've facing down in the carrier. So I think we'll just make our chunk switch this. This is 3, 6, 11. We go to 5. But if we draw a Shimmerpack, we should be able to do it. Drew a Marisen's Disciple, which isn't quite what we were looking for here, and I don't believe we can actually win this game now, because our opponent gets to sit back and activate the Seraph if they don't draw anything from the carrier. So I'll give them the old GGs and move on to the next game. Okay, so this sounds pretty nice because we do get to make a nice and early scouting party, so I think we'll keep this, especially as we're on the play. So scout first off, just to try and find an Obelisk or something we can do in the meantime. And we'll go 3, 4, 5 with this, so we get to make the Humbug Swarm and then the scouting party, so that's probably quite interesting actually. I think I'll do that. Then I think I'll find a second time with Trailmaker and a second Primal with the Amber Acolyte. Now the Scribe could be Chalice perhaps. So I'll just chuck in for 2 here. Play like Acolyte, grab a Primal and play it down. Then we get to hold up a torch, but it's unlikely we're going to need it unless our opponent plays out like a cold form. We just want to get rid of that. I think next turn we're just going to get in there with this Humbug Swarm. And then we'll try and get off this scouting party before our opponent's able to remove everything for harsh roll. Though we do need to be mindful that our opponent could actually be playing Lightning Storm. This is it's all fine actually. Next turn they could actually harsh roll. But only just to torch this off. I probably should have just torched it pre-combat so I could get in for an additional 4. Just gonna see if they harsh rolls it. And they don't seem to have it, so we would have just totally got away with the scouting party actually, because that's what I was thinking about actually playing. But I think for now we'll cantrip with the Temple Scribe and just get it for everyone but the Trailmaker, because this is quite important to us right now. I'll probably trades over here. Now they've got Desert Marshal as well. Got something, perhaps it's a Lightning Strike. That's been seeing a little bit more play recently. Okay, so they've seen that we felt this was important. Now we've got 3, 5, 3. Yep, so I think we could perhaps sit back in this Marisen's Disciple. Yeah, just play out. Play another Sandcrawler past turn. If our opponent harsh rolls us, then that sucks, but we just need an undepleted power just to be able to get in there with a scouting party. It looks like our opponent doesn't have it. Now we can attack with the Trailmaker. Now Trailmaker's silent. And that'll do it. I think this is an easy redraw, just 1 power. this is likely fine. We're able to play all our spells. Just really want to find some sort of payoff to be able to turn these Humbug Swarms into some real threats. I don't really need to chuck out Talir's Favoured yet, so let's get the Grenadins down just so we've got something to start attacking with. If I'll play the Acolyte here, just grab the Primal Sigil. I don't really want to play the Trailmaker yet, because I'm going to try and hold the Humbug Swarm. Right, okay, so it looks like we're getting some sort of Scream deck, so we might actually be fine. Let's attack for everyone here. My opponent wants to... Yep, so I guess we're torching here. Didn't really want to. Should have done that pre-combat just to get an extra damage in. But I was just hoping that my opponent was perhaps just going to block, just not block, just to keep this safe at all costs. But no hard screen, but that's fine. That's pretty much all the turn taken. But if they do have like Madness and Devour or anything like that, then at least we're pretty resilient against that, because none of our units actually really matter. And don't have a Shimmerpack or anywhere near 8, so don't need that. And we can get the second Primal for the Trailmaker anyway. Annihilate here is great for us. So 7, so really want to just find a Obelisk like sooner rather than later, just so we can turn this into a real amount of damage. Now we're against a Rindra, we could be in trouble here. Get down the Crest. And Scouting Party is perhaps just a little too slow here. But I'll keep it anyway, because we're going to be trading off a bunch of our board just to kill this Rindra here. But we've got the nice option of being able to stop the Gorgon in its tracks if we really want to. So I think we'll actually just gang block this just to get rid of it. Because huge overwhelm attackers are pretty bad for us to deal with. I don't mind the Gorgon actually getting through, because I'd much prefer us to have our Humbugs in play. I'll play it all out, and hopefully we're able to get in for a bunch of damage here and just draw 4 cards. Now we've got the first Obelisk down. Also got above 8 power, so we're in ultimate range here. Let's just get in. Do get to eat one of our attackers with the Rindra, but they gave up because this was basically millions. And we did get to reload with the Humbug Swarm. Okay, we're on the playboard. Sadly, it's not a capable hand because we just don't have the power to play it all out. It's probably quite nice actually. We'll get to do the Crest on free. So I'll just play out the Grenadins and the Trailmaker next turn. Could be against perhaps Gunslingers or even just removal pile here. Let's grab our first Primal in case we get a scouting party. With the Trailmaker and the Ember Acolytes, then the Scrybe Party is a pretty easy splash, really. I'll just doesn't make our power too much worse. Talir is not the greatest, but I think we probably just bought this Temple Scribe to try and actually find like an Obelisk or the 5th power, so we're able to play these Humbug Swarms out. But next turn just be Disciple and hopefully turn after the Swarm. Let's get the Banner down. Banner's been quite a nice power drop in this deck actually, because usually you just do have a unit out. And still got the Sandcrawler here. Apple's got quite a slow hand, but it's also quite interactive. We'll just play the Humbug Swarm, and then next turn we'll play the Monitor and just crunch for 1,000,000. Okay, they're actually playing a version with Harsh Rule. So we'll just make the same play again, just make the Humbug Swarm. And then the turn after we'll just play the Monitor just to boost them all up and get them 6. So this slow draw that our opponent has is perhaps just because they are just playing the slow version, perhaps one of the older style traditional armory decks. It's unlikely that they'll have like a Death Strike or anything for the Arcanum Monitor, so we'll at least get one attack in with the buff, and this is probably where they're trying to find a carrier here, but we should perhaps be able to close it out before that's able to end the game on us. Chunking for 6 here. Dasho could also be a good shout for what our opponent grabbed there. But if this isn't a Harsh Rule at the top, then yep, so it's got a 4-cost Harsh Rule, so that's pretty bad beats for us. I'll just get to Crest here, and we're probably going to die to whatever they rose for. I don't want the 8th power exactly. They want to got themselves a Macto. But we do get to refill quite nicely here with 4 bodies when our opponent's at 8. So they can't really attack us because the threat of any Anthem would kill them. But Statue Maiden quite good here as well. As now we get to build a battleship over here. Play the banner out, no reason to attack. But I'd be more than happy just to peel a Shimmerpack here. Just so we can actually see what it can do. Now Shimmerpack is looking slowly less and less impressive here. Now I think we might just be dead because we've just drawn 9 power. Yep, that'll do it. Give me the old GG's. Okay, so that was Shimmerpack. We didn't really get to see the actual Shimmerpack card in action, but there were a couple of times where I was really just hoping to draw it off the top just to be able to finish the game on the spot, or at least disrupt what our opponent's units were up to. The deck's perhaps a little too slow running for the ladder right now, although if your opponent does stumble, then you do have the opportunity to be able to get in there with some sort of beatdown starts with the assembly lines and the Grenadin drones. Just everything in between with the Trailmaker, just doing a sort of good impression of a bad beatdown deck. And when a lot of units do actually also just say draw a card, where like the Talis Favored and Temple Scribe, then you do end up in sort of a good position against some of those decks as well. Seeing Obelisk is definitely one of the best cards in the deck and pretty much just what it's built around. So if there was any sort of small unit that could tutor for a relic, then I would be all for it. But that would probably be a little bit too good in these colour combinations. The deck's relatively easy to craft and play, but perhaps you want to stick to the Praxis versions, as that way you don't really need the Shimmer Packs or the Scouting Parties, and you can just play with the promos that you've got. It also would make the power base a lot easier, as though I don't really have too many problems, because we do only need like a single Primal source for the most part, and a double like really late in the game. These influences are made really easy to grab just with the Trailmaker and the Amber Acolyte. I would like a lot more undepleted power, or perhaps even the ability to play the Granite Waystones. But overall, thanks for the suggestion, Cube TV. Keep them coming. I've been That Resolves, and this was Shimmerpack.